Hey everyone, today's video is going to be a what I eat in a day / 24 hours eating reduced foods. If you've not seen my last video, I went to Asda and I went to Lidl and I picked up a bunch of stuff from the reduced section to share with you guys. And in today's video, I'm going to be eating that food and I guess just sharing what I'm going to do with it to avoid any of it getting wasted. So I've already had my breakfast this morning. I had 3 crumpets, so I picked up those crumpets. I got 9 for 36p, so I guess I've technically eaten like 12p worth of crumpets this morning, which is a bargain. So that has been my breakfast, and I'm now gonna have, I guess, like a second breakfast or a mid-morning snack. I'm still feeling a little bit peckish, so I'm gonna have some of this mango. This was reduced from 95p to 72p. And I'm also going to be having some of this yogurt. This is from The Collective. It is plant-based, Greek-style, live cultures, passion fruit yogurt, and it's made of a blend of oats, coconut and rice. Low in sugar, apparently. I did open this last night and I'm a big fan. This is not the kind of thing I would have bought normally because the normal price is £2.20, which is just a little bit out of my price range for some yogurt, I feel like. But now that I've tried it, I feel like this would be the kind of thing I might treat myself to again in the future. Really good. It's got like super thick yogurt in here and then like the passion fruit compote. I don't know if that's how I would describe it. I don't know if they have like a specific way of describing it. Either way, it tastes delicious. But yeah, I'm just gonna put some of this in the bowl, chop up the mango, and that is going to be my mid-morning snack today. Definitely don't think the mango is quite ripe yet. It was a little bit of a struggle to cut, but I've got some of the mango, got the rest of that yogurt with the passion fruit. This yogurt is like ridiculously thick. Like the texture is maybe not for everyone. It is so thick, but that is what I'm going to be having as my snack this morning. It is now lunchtime, and if you've seen my haul video, you'll know that I picked up a few different soup options for lunch today. The one that I think I'm going to go with is this one from Lidl. This is their vegan red Thai style pot. It's got a bunch of vegetables in it. It's obviously like a Thai curry flavouring, red pepper, aubergine, sweet corn, and there's also brown rice in here as well as coconut milk. So sounds really, really good. This is obviously the lazy option because all the effort has been done for me. Literally just have to shove this in the microwave and it's good to eat. So I think that's going to be my lunch today. Figured this would probably be the best option because this is one that's like hardest to freeze, I guess. I don't think you would be able to freeze this, although it does say, it says suitable for home freezing, freeze as soon as possible after purchase. So actually, I take back what I just said. You can freeze this, which is obviously great when it comes to reduced foods. Anything that you can throw in the freezer is an absolute lifesaver, particularly if this is the kind of thing you would have picked up for lunch anyway. If you can find it in the reduced section and then shove it in the freezer for when you need it, it's win-win really. So this is going to be my lunch, but I am also going to make some vegetable soup. So I got this vegetable soup mix. This was reduced to 15p, which is just ridiculous. I did also get a leek and potato soup mix, but I've shoved that in my freezer. I figured I would just cook this up now anyway and then portion it up, put it in my freezer, so later this week when I fancy some soup, it's already been made for me. So super simple, literally just have to shove this in a pan with some stock and then cook it for a few minutes. Well, I think it's like 15 minutes maybe. Blend it up and it's done. So easy. I mean, it's definitely like a low effort meal day today. So that's what I'm going to be having for lunch. I do also have these tiger bread rolls. I don't know if this like Thai soup is the kind of soup you'd have with bread. It sounds more like curry-y, which sounds weird to have with tiger bread. So not sure about that, but tiger bread is like my favourite bread ever, so I feel like I am not going to pass up the opportunity to have a bread roll. I might also put some hummus on it. I did pick up some reduced hummus from Lidl and I'm keen to make my way through that a little bit today. So I might put some hummus on the bread, a little bit of extra protein, make it a little bit more filling because soup is definitely not the most filling lunch option. Although I will say this does sound way better than like a regular soup because it does have like the rice and everything in it. But yeah, that's going to be my lunch today. Now that I can smell this soup, it definitely doesn't smell like the kind of soup you would probably have bread with. let alone bread with hummus on it. So this potentially could be a bit of a weird combination. I've got one of those tiger bread rolls, half with butter, half with some of the Lidl reduced hummus. And then I've got the Lidl reduced Thai soup as well. And then over here I've got the Asda soup mix bubbling away. And once this is cooked, I will blend this up and then freeze those portions. Time to give this soup a try. I will say I am a big fan of soups that have like other things going on in them. Like if a soup has pasta in it or rice in it, I'm normally a bigger fan. That is not awful, but that's probably not my most favourite soup I've ever had. It's the kind of soup that I can see some people really loving, but I just think it's lacking a little bit of flavour. There's like not very much heat to it. I don't taste a lot of salt, and maybe I've just got like a very salty tooth, if that's even a thing, but it doesn't have a huge amount of flavour in my opinion. I mean, it's not bad. I would still eat this and enjoy it. I just probably wouldn't buy it again, even if it was in the reduced section. I would maybe give this like a 6 out of 10. I do just think I'm a bigger fan of homemade soups in general. So maybe I'm being like extra critical of this because I know that I bought it, and I feel like the more I eat it, the more I'm enjoying it. So maybe 6 was a little bit critical. I don't know, maybe like a 7 out of 10 for this. I still probably wouldn't buy it again. Just blended up the soup, so now I'm just leaving it to cool down before I put it in Tupperwares in the freezer. But I did just try some, and I have to say, I feel like I prefer this to the Lidl one, and it was so much cheaper. So if you guys ever see any of the soup mixes in the reduced section at Asda, I definitely recommend giving them a go. Super quick, super easy, literally just throwing stuff in a pan and letting it boil. I added some of my own seasonings, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I mean, it looks pretty thick. I might have to thin it out a little bit with some more stock, but overall I feel like for 15p this is definitely a win. I'm just about to head out on a walk, so I figured I would take this with me. This is a Naked bar that was reduced to 65p from £1. I thought this was the carrot cake flavour, but now that I look at it, I think it's actually chocolate orange. They very helpfully put the sticker right over like the name of the bar, but looking at the ingredients, it's got orange flavouring in, so I'm assuming this is the chocolate orange flavour, which I might have had before. I can't actually remember. I feel like the Naked bars are normally pretty decent and they're a really good snack option. It's literally just like fruit and nuts in there, nothing like weird. So that is going to be my afternoon snack today. Okay, so it may or may not now be the next day. I went to make dinner yesterday evening, and to be honest, I just did not fancy the things I picked up from the reduced section. So I made myself some like easy pasta, and I figured I would have it for dinner tonight instead. So I guess I kind of failed at like a 24-hour challenge, but really it makes no difference because I'm still having the same meals that I would have had. Also, I have been drinking this smoothie that I picked up from Lidl. This was reduced from £2.29 to £1.60. I mean, it's really good. It doesn't really taste any different to any other smoothies I've had before. It's meant to be like a vitamin smoothie. I mean, I don't really know what that means, but it tastes good. I wouldn't buy it again full price. I probably wouldn't buy it again reduced because even at £1.60, I'm pretty sure the Asda one is cheaper than this. So won't be buying this again, but have very much enjoyed it. And then for dinner this evening, I'm going to be eating up the reduced vegetables I picked up. I've got the swede that I got for 10p, which I think I'm just going to boil and make into swede mash. Normally when I have this, I do swede and carrot mash, but I'm assuming it's going to be just as good by itself because I don't currently have any carrots in. So that is what I'm going to be doing with this, and I'll just freeze any leftovers. I've got some Brussels sprouts, which were also 10p. I'm just going to boil these and probably fry them with a little bit of vegan bacon because that is definitely my obsession at the moment. And then finally I've got the potatoes I picked up for 9p. Now I'm not going to lie, these smell kind of funky. I'm not sure why. They look okay. I mean, they look ugly, but they look like they should be fine. I'm gonna wash them and peel them and see what they're like. I'm sure they must be fine. I mean, I've eaten potatoes that are like really old and sprouting and probably shouldn't be eaten, and I'm fine. But these aren't even that out of date. In fact, they're not out of date yet at all. So not sure why these smell so weird. We're gonna give them a go, but if they're like really gross, I'll just scrap them. It's only 9p, so it's not like I'm missing out on a whole lot. And then to have with those, I picked up a vegan pie. Now this was technically not from the reduced section, but I couldn't find any sort of like main to have with those bits. So this is from Asda. It's their meat-free steak and gravy pie, which I've not tried before. So I'm very intrigued to see what this tastes like. I'm gonna get cooking now and I'll show you guys what I end up making. definitely made the wrong pan choices. I put the Swede on to boil and then I realised that I was also going to be boiling the potatoes, so we'll see how this goes down. The potatoes are actually fine in the end. One of them was not fine, it was very gross, so I've thrown that one away, washed and peeled and chopped the other 3, and I'm just boiling these and then I'm going to roast them. I've got some leftover rosemary in the fridge, so I'm going to roast it with some rosemary and garlic and have that with the Swede mash and the Brussels sprouts. I think for a dinner that's going to cost like £1.50, I think, with the pie, this is definitely going to be a decent meal. I'm going to have lots of leftovers as well. There's going to be loads of roasties and lots of mash, I'm sure, so I feel like it's going to be a fairly successful dinner. Brussels sprouts are finished, cooked with that bacon. I have blended up the Swede with some vegan butter to make the Swede mash, and then I've also just taken the potatoes out of the oven. Now, these are not my best roast potatoes I've ever made. They look pretty anemic, but to be honest, it's almost 9 o'clock and I really can't be bothered to leave them in the oven any longer, so we're just going to work with what we've got. In total, for the vegetables for this meal, it came to 29p, which is pretty mental. Obviously, this is not just going to be one portion, so this is going to be a couple of days worth of food. So I feel like that is a pretty good deal, considering the quality of these is like no different to if I bought them outside of the reduced section. I'm now going to plate this up with the pie that I bought, and that is going to be my dinner this evening. I'm looking and feeling very warm right now. I feel like this type of meal is always the hottest to cook. Like, my whole kitchen feels like a sauna right now. But dinner is done. I'm very excited to tuck into this. I feel like I'm most excited about the pie because I've not tried that before. All of the sides are things that I would make like anyway, so I'm not expecting them to taste any different, even though they're from the reduced section. So this is what I'm gonna have for dinner this evening, and then I think if I fancy like any sort of dessert, I'm just gonna have more of that smoothie. So I'm gonna end this video here, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. I hope if any of you guys were like anti-reduced food before, you're maybe less so now. I don't know. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.